Harry's Wife, Part 102.49. She knew how to play Harry. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor, continuing to utilise the example of Harry's Wife because of her sheer prominence in the news as an excellent vehicle for helping you understand narcissism. I think it would be safe to say that Tom Bower doesn't like Harry's wife. I think at one point he referred to her as being something of a brazen hussy, and for some reason, perhaps he wants to sell more copies of his book, it appears that he's being interviewed and providing his further observations, based, of course, upon the way that he sees it, and the evidence that he's come across as a consequence of the meticulous research that he has undertaken. An article now comes our way, this time from OK, written by Jacelyn Roth, which tells us, Harry's wife is a great actress who knew how to play Prince Harry, author Tom Bower says. Now, of course, the question of is Harry's wife a great actress really falls into two potential categories. Was she a great actress on screen? Short answer, cable actress, mediocre, and nature not the worst that the world has ever seen, but far from somebody that would be deemed to be A-list. Indeed, while she believed that she was A-list, she never got there, and indeed the A-list has effectively turned its back upon her. See parts passim. But then the other question is she an actress in the less conventional sense, i.e., in what she does personally and privately? Well, of course, as a narcissist, she is. Because narcissists are chameleons. Narcissists adapt and shape-shift in order to fit into certain situations, to show what the victim wants to see, to keep or hidden that which the victim ought not to see, at least until later. Remember, this is all governed by the narcissism, and for the vast majority of narcissists, which are unaware, it's done instinctively. The narcissism causing the narcissist to think and feel in a particular way, so that the narcissist behaves in a particular way, to then portray certain behaviours, emotions, in order to get their hands upon the prime aims of fuel control, character traits, and residual benefits. And in that respect, narcissists are the ultimate actors and actresses, which is why so many narcissists proliferate Hollywood, screen, film, stage, etc. Quite simply, it is a natural environment for our kind. Furthermore, the environment itself appeals to narcissists. By becoming a famous actor or actress, there is the ability to control lots of people. There's a huge fuel matrix on offer. There's oodles of character traits to acquire from all of the different and interesting people that operate within that industry, from adoring fans through to producers and directors, screenwriters, script editors, and then, of course, the residual benefits, the fame, the wealth, the access to various networks, and therefore it's hardly a surprise that the likes of Hollywood is festooned with our kind, because not only is it a wonderful environment for our type to obtain the prime aims, but it also is a natural environment for the narcissist to thrive in as a natural actor. Let's find out, however, what Tom Bower has to state through this article. Even though Harry's wife claimed she knew nothing about the royal family prior to meeting Prince Harry, which of course we know was a lie, it seems like she wasn't telling the whole truth. No shit, Sherlock. Ever since 2013, she had been coming to England to look for an English husband, author Tom Bower, who wrote Revenge, Harry's Wife, Harry and the War Between the Windsors, exclusively tells OK. There's no doubt when she went to Wimbledon that she asked Violet von Westenhals, "Could you introduce me to Harry?" She knew that Violet was a childhood friend of Harry. And what's interesting is that when Violet called Harry, he asked for a description of Harry's wife, but didn't ask about her appearance or colour. Harry's wife is a great actress, and she knew exactly how to play Harry. The two later got married in 2018, and according to Bower, he believes their relationship will only last because they need each other. Well, although he does recognise, as I think he said, that she is a narcissist, Mr. Bauer doesn't, and one wouldn't expect him to, fully understand the nature of what that means or the dynamic. Harry's wife needs Harry to the extent that he can fulfil the prime aims, but when that becomes too difficult, i.e., although he's providing residual benefits of character traits and fuel, but it's too difficult to control him, or he can be controlled, but his provision of fuel, character traits and residual benefits is diminished, then he's of no use to her, and disengagement is on the horizon. He needs her in the sense that she has made him feel like a master of the universe, that she has made him feel like the king that he will unlikely ever be. This is, of course, as I've explained in parts past, is what the narcissist does. The narcissist enters your life and makes you feel like a king or queen, that you're the best thing since sliced bread. You're the soulmate. I've always been in love with you, even from afar. You may not have realised this, but I have always admired you, always loved you, always been impressed by the things that you do. You're swept off your feet. This person tells you how wonderful and brilliant you are, and you recognise that you have some good traits, but it's even better to hear somebody else telling you just how wonderful that you are. The narcissist, with flattery, with compliments, with excellent sex, though not always, with bribery, with the early introduction to perhaps a dizzying array of friends and family, draws you in. And, in so doing, makes you feel like the only guy or girl in the world. And thus, that's what's happened to Harry. He's met somebody that's given him plenty of spicy poontang, that has made him no longer feel the spare, that has purportedly understood his issues and exhibited false compassion, and he's been drawn in hook, line and sinker, believing, therefore, that he needs her. The article continues. They seem so fixated on each other, Bauer notes. Harry's wife is an actress, and I don't see why she should want to end the marriage. I would be puzzled if that happened, because if it did happen, she's got a bigger plan. Actually, she doesn't have a bigger plan. It would simply be the case, as I've explained, that one of the 5 disengagement triggers is activated, and therefore Harry becomes surplus to requirements. It might be that she has somebody else lined up, bigger, better, shinier and more effective, and thus he's kicked to the curb. It might be that Harry starts to wake up, and as a consequence of possible help and intervention from other sources, he proves too difficult for her to control, and basically her narcissism determines it's not worth keeping him. A little bit like an invading army facing an insurgency and deciding, no, this is too difficult to keep under control, we'll withdraw and we'll go and find somebody else to invade. There's a possibility, of course, that Harry could suffer a breakdown. He appears to have a somewhat fragile state of mind with regard to mental health as a consequence of the issues that he's experienced, and the sustained devaluation could tip him over the edge so that he effectively ceases to function. Those are the most likely outcomes in terms of why Harry's wife would move on. But it isn't that she sat there and thought, what I'll do is I'll marry a prince of England, and then I'll stay with him for a while, suck him dry, and then move on to a bigger target. Her narcissism doesn't function that way. And whilst people believe that she may be conniving in that respect, her narcissism has certainly sought to draw somebody famous in, somebody wealthy, and if he doesn't continue to deliver, then in all likelihood she will disengage and move on to somebody else, but that wasn't the master plan all of the time. The article continues. Bauer also believes the TV star, 41, is to blame for breaking apart the royal family. She wasn't getting what she wanted, and I think she was never prepared to not be number one. That is accurate. He says, she didn't realise Queen Elizabeth was number one. She thought she should be the Queen, and she couldn't stand that she was beneath Kate Middleton. Indeed, that is the case. And I'll add once again, those are Tom Bauer's words that I'm quoting, as he calls her Kate Middleton, before any of you start to get your panties in a bunch. The rift was caused by her expectations, her demands, her behaviour, her interaction with others. She was just pretty rude, he adds. The expert wanted to write this book to get to learn more about Harry's wife. I couldn't quite understand why she was the one for Harry at the time, he says. I wrote a book about King Charles in 2018, which was quite successful. I had great interest in the royal family, so it seemed like I could combine all those things, and I thought that nobody really knew who Harry's wife was. Well, your glorious narrator has always recognised what she is. I think Harry's wife is a very successful woman because she's done exactly what she wanted and achieved it, Bauer states. Well, she's certainly been successful, as I've explained, in terms of getting herself to the point of access to wealth, privilege, networks, by marrying into the royal family. But as I have repeatedly explained, it's beyond the wit and ability of her narcissism to keep her there, as we have witnessed. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.